by near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys, that's all we'll ever be. I got an only 6 weeks overdue.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Glad you're all here, whether you're on YouTube's, Facebook. Like and share, like and subscribe if you're on the social medias. The No Bull Network, thank you for joining us. Magic, the mothership, we love you. KTMV TV in Corpus, we're everywhere you want to be. Stephanie Coney, Ricky King, Bobby Leister on the podium this morning. I'm Ash. He's Brent, Commander in the corner. Glad you're all here.
He did that with one breath.
I did.
There was never an inhale. That's impressive. That's
And off the cuff. I didn't have that scripted at all.
first take. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. It's 42 degrees in Victoria. And I don't believe this. I don't even believe the Democrat weather. It says it's 42 degrees in Victoria, but it feels like 32.
I'm not.
Is that like that wet bulb technology that somehow that there's enough humidity in the air that
Yeah.
feels like 32 where when
Yeah.
it's not?
If you're standing outside naked?
No, but I mean, if it was 32, would it feel like 32? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
I don't understand that.
I don't.
42 degrees feels like 32 with a high today of 61. So it's going to be a beautiful day, sunny day. Man, what a great weekend of weather. Saturday and Sunday were just fantabulous.
Yeah, beautiful weather for the lighted Christmas parade the city put on. Always a great show. Had a
Did you
time
show up?
there. I did.
Did you have your
Walked
athletes
it.
there?
Yep. We had a good turnout of student athletes.
Did you have a Brother Gary showing?
Brother Gary was there. Congressman Cloud presented Brother Gary with a congressional, I guess, proclamation is the wrong word. They gave him a copy of the reading that they entered in the congressional record, and then
I watched that live.
and then presented him with the U.S. Congress. Was it the Medal of Patriotism?
That's
Patriotism
very nice.
Award, Congressional Patriotism Award.
That's very nice.
And
You know what
that was before Mayor Crocker lit the tree.
Add that to I just thought about Poxitani Phil, the mayor lighting the Christmas tree. It's like Bill Murray's brother in Groundhog Day. I just thought about the fact that Brother Gary, so deservedly getting that recognition, add that to the list of things that will never happen to Wade and Carter. I mean, think about the fact, how old were you, seriously, folks, when you, like Scott Tomko, what did you want to be when you were a little kid and you thought about it? And we all, at our age, we all went through that Army, man. We played Army in the yard, and we played Cowboys and Indians, and we all dreamed of being Doug Drabick and playing in the major leagues, and then that went away pretty quick.
I dreamed of being Gordie Howe.
Or we dreamed of being an astronaut, and and it was great to meet.
Canadians never went to the moon, so we didn't dream of such things.
Sid Gutierrez last week at the STTC. Beautiful job by the chamber putting that on, and realizing I'll never be an astronaut, but I have like instant respect for an astronaut. You see what I mean? And then you see a guy like our own Bill Posey. I never wanted to be a Navy SEAL because I never wanted to be that tough. I never fantasized about being a true hero, and yet you meet a hero, a real serious military person like a Bill Posey, and you ever respect. But there are things, and you can now add that to the list. We will never be recognized by Congress. I think that's worth noting.
Junior says our recognition may be in the form of a grand jury summons.
Could be, no doubt about it.
But yeah, it was quite the honor and tribute to Brother Gary for all that he's done.
Well deserved, and all he's still doing. The brother
Absolutely.
man is getting better. He's getting healthier.
Yeah, he told me things are looking good, so that's good. When I talked to him on Saturday night.
Well, you just don't think about people that you've known forever, people who have always been here. You don't think about them not being here, you know. But we're all headed towards the same fate. So it is what it is.
Same fate, maybe not the same final destination.
Amen. By the way, I want to give a hats off. If you did not join us Friday night at Brian Free and Assurance, number one, I thought it was a fantastic, extremely professional production. 3 guys, great music. It was and it actually did kind of turn into church, which if that's not your thing, that's okay. But hats off to Jasmine Callis and the In Abundance team for bringing this. There was a very passionate,
uplifting,
and
positive.
What was the do you remember the lady's name that spoke about the women's?
No, but she was with Restoration House Ministries, and it was listening to her story was
What a great story.
Yeah.
I just encourage you, when these things are here, take advantage of them, because we didn't lie to you. This was a big time production, extremely professional. These guys have a ministry and they travel. But it was an interesting show. The music was great. They did some Christmas songs. But I found it interesting. Randy Langston says, never wanted to be a lumberjack. Well, you live in Canada. But it was interesting I asked Brian Free, hey.
That was the other great thing. Where do you ever get to meet the artists, like
super nice people?
Like the people there.
I mean, they're like you would think they would be. They were Christian ministry folks. But I asked him, he's probably my age. I asked him, how many shows a year do y'all do? And he said, well, we've really dropped back. He goes, probably 150 this year. And I go, wow. And I said, well, how does that look? He goes, well, we used to do 215. 215 nights a year. They're putting on a 2-hour show and taxing their voices.
Yeah. And I bet you, 10 of those maybe at home at a church locally, the rest of them on the road.
So I asked him, how do you do it? He says, we leave the house on Thursday, unless we have to start being on the West Coast. We think logistics.
And they're out of the Atlanta area.
He said, we leave on Thursday. We do shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, typically in church services, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 weeks a month. On the 4th week of whatever that schedule is, we take Saturday and Sunday off. We only work Thursday, Friday. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 3 weeks, and then Thursday and Friday. That's a lot of work, man.
It's a pretty sweet gig, though, if you ain't got another job.
No, it's not a bad gig, except they all had beautiful families, and then again, it was a Christian show. It was great to see them put up pictures of their family and
talk about the families and their lives. It was pretty cool.
I did notice that none of those pictures were taken in front of a single wide. They were all beautiful. Right. Yeah, they all had they had beautiful homes, and they were on $1 million bus.
A couple of them, either they photoshopped them or they were taken when they had less gray hair.
Right. Yeah, they did age differently, no doubt. But great show, great time. And Jasmine did. She was there to greet everybody that came in. I was just very proud of our affiliation, and they gave us
the guys from Brian Free and Bill and Jake were in the doors welcoming people into the show. I mean, where does that happen either?
And they gave us much more credit than we had ever sought. Yeah. They put us down as one of their sponsors and friends, and it meant a lot. It was a great show. Took my mom. I'm sure Mom's listening. Good morning, Mom. There's Diana Hawes. Good morning. You got your roll call. There's Uncle Norm. Hey, buddy.
John Anderson, Tom Kingston, Randy Langston, Heather Stewart, Katina Arterberry, Scott Snow checking in, Greg Garcia, FY8 685 on
That is from
YouTube.
the Rockies.
They're calling from the Rockies.
Good morning. Good morning in Colorado, I hope. The Rockies could be Canada.
Could be.
No.
The real feel there, 20 degrees, humidity 70%. There you go. Junior, Tammy, Terry, Monty, Jarrett, your morning cuz, Clayton Helt.
Hey, Clayton.
Zed checking in, Jackie Parsons. Ryegrass seed is in. Didn't mention that this morning off the top, but go get it. Linda Chris checking in, Mark Kurtz, Micah Patton, Lisa Poole, Marvin Mickish, Jordan Glass, Justin Glass, Rena Scherer, good morning. Torm Bales, Scott Tomko, Bobby Leister, good morning, everybody.
Glad great group. Great group of folks.
So,
so where was this show advertised? You know, Junior, really? Here. And we did tell her, Ash and I both told her, you know, Jasmine, next time give us a little bit more of a heads up.
I think we had 3 days.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, great show. I really enjoyed it. I never heard Brian Freed Insurance before. And
if we're honest as friends, if you're honest, you kind of just went because I asked you to. I'd been like, come on, man, you should go tonight. And he was like, no, I don't know. Yeah, I got a long week and I've got this and I've got that. But in reality, you were kind of like, all right, I'll go. And by the time I was very proud of myself because by the time you left, you'd had a good time.
I did. I had a great time. Glad I went.
Yeah.
It gets easy to kind of just, as you get older, to just sit in the house and not want to go anywhere. But
in your boxers.
I went out twice this week.
Or not.
It's the beauty of it's the beauty of not having kids around.
The great thing of
you
living
don't have
alone,
to wear boxers if you don't want to.
Yeah, the great thing of living alone.
Put the tighty whities on.
Yeah, or not.
Or not.
Then you forget, you know, you have a couple of Canadian with somebody knocks on the door. You kids get off my lawn. You're sitting there buff.
Then you're arrested for indecent exposure.
There's a FedEx guy there. Merry Christmas. Whoa. Connor says, what's the biggest church in Victoria, Texas now that has the most people? I'm sure it's Our Lady of Victory. Could be Faith Family.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Faith. I don't know. Either, one of the two.
Yeah. Faith Family is kind of a non-denom over right across from Howell, John.
I think Faith has the largest seating capacity. That'd be my guess.
They're thinking about hosting a bowl game. Speaking of bowl games, you see where Notre Dame just said, not going. What do you make of that? Then I heard Kansas State or Iowa State. Somebody said they weren't going.
Well, they just stole my coach from Jimmy Rogers from Washington State.
There are some challenges these days.
But you and I called this a couple of years ago. Once the playoffs started, the bowls started losing significance. Now that the playoffs have expanded, bowl season's almost irrelevant.
Well, it is, and I think there was a certain sympathy for the bowl system that well, gee, the Cotton Bowl gives a lot of money to charity and blah, blah, blah. Well, they started saying, you know, in fact, my buddy Cody Chandler, and I have not watched this, but it doesn't surprise me. The Cliff's Notes are that there was a documentary that detailed the racket that is the bowl system. The bowl committee people all get bonuses and the schools get, you know, a little bit of money and, you know, but I think Notre Dame had to pay $500,000 to not go to the bowl.
Well, and the schools are on the hook for the tickets, whether they sell them or not.
That's it. Yeah, so the thing is always a sellout. It's just do people show up? Yeah. And what gets me about that is they invite you to the bowl.
For Notre Dame to go than not.
I think it certainly was. I do think it was certainly
or to
cheaper
not go.
to
not go.
But at the end of the day, I don't think Notre Dame was snubbing the selection process so much as I think Notre Dame was saying it's bad for. Yeah, no, I agree with Clayton Hill. He says, don't be a hater just because Texas didn't make it. No, I agree with you 100%. So you go to the bowl. Does Texas want to go to a bowl and have a bunch of players opt out? Like, let's just say that all their seniors that think they're going to get drafted say, I'm not going to play in the bowl. I'm getting ready for the Senior Bowl. I'm training for the Combine. If you go to a bowl and let's say you get blistered by Maryland because half your players decide not to play because they might be thinking about joining the portal, the next thing you know, that kills recruiting. That they got beat by Florida and they got smoked by, you know what I mean? They got beat by Maryland in a bowl. Tommy Kingston, being sarcastic, says Alabama could have 5 losses and go to the championship game. Alabama, I have no
Under
problem.
Saban, not now.
But I don't have a problem with Alabama being in the playoff. I mean, it's not their fault they had to play Georgia. I've been there. I can feel that. I don't fault them for that. There
was talk that and there was talk that they would end up or Notre Dame would have gone to the Pop-Tart Bowl. I don't think they just said they weren't going to any bowl. I don't think they snubbed a particular bowl as of yet, did they?
Right. No, I don't, and I don't think they know where they're going. What do you make of, before we get into more football, did you just see that? Do you think Dana Brown, do you folks think Dana Brown's going to be the Astros general manager? You look for the Astros to make any big-time plays this offseason?
No, but you know who?
I think it's a mistake.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
But you know who I think might end up coming back to retire as an Astro?
Don't tell me.
I'm telling you.
Justin Verlander.
Yes. He's positioned. I read an interview with the week, and he was late last week, or maybe it was over the weekend. He really wishes he would not have left the Astros. But I mean, he's not going to make the kind of money
he'll make
that he was making.
Million. He'll make
I don't
15.
even think he'll get that much.
But here's my question. Does he come back to ceremoniously retire, or does he come back and pitch this season?
I think he hopes he comes in as the number 5 starter and has a decent season, because, I mean,
he really wants to get to 300 wins. And he's at least 2 seasons from there, isn't he? Verlander is not the JV of old. And if you'd have asked me 4 or 5 seasons ago, I would have said there's no chance that Justin Verlander wants to go into the Hall as an Astro. He's a Detroit Tiger. His most dominating years were in Detroit, but his most productive years were probably in Houston.
He went 4-11 in San Francisco with an ERA of 3.85.
He's not a bad pitcher. San Francisco gave him no runs.
True enough.
3.85 is a starting pitcher in the big leagues. What's his win-loss record?
He is at 266 wins.
He'll never make 300. He'll never make 300.
No, he's only got, I think, 9 wins his last 2 seasons.
Right. You have to pitch like Nolan Ryan to get there. Torrin Bell says, how do you survive? He actually said it in this voice. How do you survive on $15 million? Well, Torrin, for you, when you're filling up your yacht, you would only fill up your yacht instead of paying it forward to the 2 boats behind you. I need 10,000 gallons of diesel, please.
Poche, Melissa Hans, good morning. Saw Melissa became a grandma over the weekend.
Good for her. That's nice that, I don't know if they
posted pictures all over social media.
Well,
how do you not when you become a grandparent?
Right. That's awesome. So
I'm just kind of looking at some of the.
We're probably pushing the limit on sports.
Well, I mean, Tulane beat North Texas. There goes North Texas's chance. James Madison likely in, right?
James Madison in. Yeah. Let me tell you what's interesting.
Indiana surprised everybody. I did not think they would beat Ohio State. I didn't even think it was going to be close.
Relentless defense out of IU. You've got to give them props. By the way, this is for sure uncharted territory for them. They've never been close to 13-0.
Except in basketball on Bob night.
True.
That's it.
Georgia just really exposed Alabama. Alabama's 10-3. And they lost to Georgia, and they're going to get it. They lost to Georgia once, but they beat Georgia once.
Georgia looked, of all the teams that I watched over the weekend in their championship games, Georgia was the best. They were on a different level than even Indiana and Ohio State. Texas Tech looked pretty good. I don't think they could hang with a Georgia if it got to the point.
Is it fair to say that Alabama was boring? Their quarterback goes 13 of 39. I mean, that's roughly 50% for 212 yards and a touchdown. I didn't get any of the vibe. You used to get that overwhelming speed vibe out, just like Miami back in the day. and Georgia today. Georgia's just so fast, people.
And does an ACC team even get into the playoffs now with Duke upsetting Virginia?
No, neither
8-5 Duke going to go to the playoffs?
No, has no business being in the playoffs.
But
I think they're in though, right? For winning,
because they won. Yeah, they're the other P4, P5 champ, right?
You need to have.
Here's the problem with college football right now: the SEC and the Big Ten are the only two relevant conferences. Texas Tech's going to get in as the only Big 12 team in the playoff,
and they're going to get
crappy
crushed.
Duke team needed overtime to beat Virginia, and I guess they're going because they're the ACC champ. The Pac-12 is irrelevant. College football wants us to get to be the Big 12 or the Big 10 in the SEC, and that's it. That's all they want. If they could have 48 teams, 2 conferences, they would be happy.
Well, you got a BYU team that's now 11-2. They were ranked number 11 in the country. They scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter and couldn't muster another point.
No,
against Texas.
They looked good on the first drive, and that was it.
I was visiting with a friend of mine, with Cody Chandler, and Cody made the comment that what they need to do is have a 16-team playoff out of the, what do you call it, group of 4, the power, whatever the top 4 conferences are, and the rest of them play for something else. There's no logic on the planet that says that Tulane or who's the other?
Miami's going to get the ACC.
Miami's
they're
okay,
number 10.
Tulane, and who's the other spirit? James Madison. Do you know how bad Texas would beat James Madison? And I use that as an example of my opinion. Texas is a team that A, does not deserve to be in the playoff. B, is one of the top 12 teams right now. And C, would destroy the all-star team of James Madison and Tulane.
Yep.
If Texas next year opted out of their game with Ohio State and scheduled a game with Tulane, everybody listening would go, oh, what a cop-out. You guys are weak. Give us a good out-of-conference schedule. Why you want to schedule a cupcake like Tulane? Tulane's in the playoff. Texas is not. You want to completely skew this whole thing? You want to just make all of this irrelevant? Let Texas schedule a game with Notre Dame at Jerry World.
Call it a bowl game.
Call it a bowl game. The No Bull ball game brought to you by the No Bull Network. Let Texas play Notre Dame at Jerry World and have it brought to you by Ultra and give away free beer and watch the TV ratings go through the roof. It would be the most watched game of the year. The Nothing to Lose Bowl. 2 teams that don't have anything to prove getting together to battle it out. We could have like a WWE type theme in the octagon.
Put a ladder on the star and a
like,
bag of money at the top.
And Arch Manning could come off, boom, put James Franklin in the suplex.
Good old-fashioned ladder match.
Yeah. With halftime from the men's club. Just unbelievable.
So the first round playoffs to start December 20th, and Oregon will get destroyed will destroy James Madison.
Sure they will. It'll be like a warm-up game. It's like getting a bye. Tech gets a bye, and Tech will beat Oregon, I think. And then either Alabama
Oklahoma.
Indiana.
That might be the best game of the opening round.
Yeah, 2 mediocre teams battling it out.
Because Ole Miss should destroy Tulane.
Oklahoma just might beat Alabama, folks. When OU comes back in the SEC, they're going to come back with a vengeance, and this is probably the most important year they've had.
A&M will take on Miami. It could be a closer game. Texas A&M 4-point favorites. I think they win, give them home field advantage, but that could be a closer one, and then they will lose to Ohio State.
Let's take a break. Let Rena Shear get off of her. She's intubated right now, just trying to hang on. Rena, we'll be right back, sweetheart. Hang on. Folks, Palace Bingo this Thursday, the 11th. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Come on out. Let's go. Let's have fun. The food is great. The company is even better. We have great camaraderie and a great fellowship. This will be our pre-Christmas. In fact, let's call it Come in Your Ugly Christmas Sweater to Palace Bingo this Thursday. And It's the Thursday before Ash's birthday on the 12th. So if you want to bring him a cupcake, bring 2. White Trash
And it's
Services.
the Thursday before Junior's birthday on Sunday.
Junior.
Who's Junior?
Yeah. But,
I don't recognize that.
oh, I'm sorry. I had a Joe Biden moment. White Trash Services, 550-1826. White, I need to reach out to BJ Nelson today. I am in need of the donation of 2 porta potties and 1 wash station for the 12th.
Doing a little renovation at the house?
No, we're pouring concrete. No, there's a group of people that are putting, and I'm not going to front them out right now because I don't have the resources I need. I don't have what I need to be the one that helps. They're going to host a dinner, and they're giving away a bunch of food. And because of that, because there's people that are going to be able to eat on site, they've been required, city paperwork, I believe, to have 2 porta potties and a partridge in a pear tree. So if somebody knows where I could get 2 porta potties donated, you'd be helping me a bunch. I reached out to a guy named Matthew Merrick at a place called Merrick Services, free plug, except he hasn't called me back, free slam. White Trash Services, 550-1826. White Trash can help you. BJ Nelson will have my resource, no doubt. Chestnut Furniture, absolutely, folks, the most consistent sponsor we've had since day one.
Because I've been here since day one.
Bobby, right? Bobby Leon absolutely said, yes, I'm in. We want to support the format. The format being anybody can call about anything, anytime, and we'll talk to him.
He doesn't always agree with us.
I also want to tell you something that was brought to my attention on this is the Chestnut Community Service statement of the day. If you struggle with mental health issues during the holidays, and so many do, and God bless you, dial 988. 988, you'll get a real person. You won't get a hotline. It is 988, correct? That's the suicide prevention hotline. That's what they call it. But you can just call and go, hey, look, I just need to talk to somebody. I've lost a loved one. I'm alone during the holidays. It's okay to be alone. It's not okay to be lonely. Reach out to the folks that are there to help. Go by and see Chesnick as well.
988.
988, thank you. I knew it. I was rhetorically trying to plead ignorance.
You were rhetorically challenged?
Right. And then Wind Services went for all your electrical needs. You don't think it's cold outside till your AC goes out. Till you see that, till you witness that. Reach out to Chestnut. Chestnut for a good, they might sell you some generators, but Wind Services sell you the generator. Reach out to them. Your phone button goes up and the music comes on. Wait, let him get to it. Go on, Roy. Roy Orbison, folks, the late great.
Only the lonely.
You wonder if those guys back in the 60s when that came out, if that guy goes, you hear that? That's me going, dum, 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 dee, doo, wah, for $50 on an album that sold 9 million copies.
Yeah.
Matt Ogre says, did I miss the big announcement? Are y'all already supporting the VISD bond?
You haven't missed any announcements. We don't make announcements. Those that want to come on and talk about it, come on, talk about it.
Let me give you the Matt Ogre comment of the day. All taxation is theft. We should pay for our roads with individual receipts. I would tell you that I'm not aware of the content of said bond. I don't think
I've heard various ranging figures from 200 million to 240 million.
I heard 238. That's almost 240. In Canadian dollars, it would be $500 million.
Almost 300.
Yeah.
What did I hear? A consolidation of a couple of elementary schools.
Yeah,
Shields
eliminating
would go
Shields, but those kids over in
Guadalupe
Crane.
goes to Torres.
And,
Torres been expanded.
No, O'Connor goes.
Or
Guadalupe's already
yeah,
done.
O'Connor goes to
O'Connor
Torres.
would go to Torres. I've got no problem with that. I think we're in an era of, and nobody's really talking about this yet, that we're dropping down in registration. We have fewer people Until Brent can justify all wasted tax dollars, perhaps snarky comments. You are so touchy, Matt. Take the pill. It's okay. Quit going alone. You know I love you. Don't be a tard on my program. I read the comments as they come up until you become a tard, and then you're on your own over in Kyle. I want someone to address the fact that our enrollment in VISD goes down every year for the last 5 years. It's a fact. I also believe that it would be impossible for me to walk through VISD with a saber and not find heads to lop off. It would take no time for me to go against the norm and say, do we really need blank? What role does blank provide that can't be given back to the campus? In a world where Donald Trump is trying to decentralize government, we have a huge group of people that work at the VISD headquarters. Now, we may need all those people. We may. But I would sure love to be the guy that said, Brent, I challenge you to eliminate blank. Now, the problem is if I go in and eliminate $500,000 worth of payrolls, 6 people maybe, it's just a drop in the bucket to what they spend. My concern about the upcoming bond is the district needs the money. I don't believe that needs are based on merit. I don't believe that you can say, I'm not going to pay to fix the roofs because our schools aren't performing well. To me, that's illogical. That's a separate issue. I think that what makes this bond hard to pass is there's absolutely nothing sexy in it. You're not going to see anything for your dollars.
The one thing that irks me a little bit is I don't think most students.
I don't
really,
agree with Garcia. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I don't really think the students notice some of the issues that the parents and others are calling issues. You're sitting in class, unless you're really sweating or really freezing, I don't know that you notice that the AC or the heater's not quite working the way it should, to be honest. And I think that's an adult thing, and I think that's probably a product of those who sit in the offices, and maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable. But I don't think the kids notice, to be honest.
Greg Garcia is a really smart guy and a great friend of the program, and he says, hey, look, enrollment goes down due to parents choosing to homeschool or place their children in private school. I agree. I mean, that's a statement of fact, but that is not the real. That is a finite, small percentage of the problem. The problem here is we've got a group of people in Victoria County that, in the big picture, nobody's moving in. All of my kids, I've got 2 kids in VISD. One's a senior. He's fixing to leave.
Kids.
In VISD?
You have another child.
Well, I've got Jerry as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take credit for Jerry. So I've got 3. That's an even bigger number. I've got 3, and 2 of them are fixing to graduate. I don't have 2 more in the hopper that are fixing to go into first grade.
No, that's Cody. He's got them all in the hopper.
Right. But as our population stays stagnant, our entire population gets older, and all their kids graduate and then leave.
I found this interesting stat, and the sources are the Department of Education, National Center for Education Statistics, and this is from 2000 to 2019. This is nationally, and I'm sure the ISD probably fits this somewhat, but so would area. So in that time, oh yeah, I took that off for the start of the show.
That's okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. There you go. Give us a call, 361-894-4020 if you want to discuss this. Since 2000 through 2019, these are the stats I've found. Student enrollment in this country went up 8%.
And student enrollment here went down each of the last 5. What does that tell you? There's more kids. People are moving. They're just not moving here.
Over that same time, the number of principals and assistant principals in schools increased by 37%.
Yeah, that means you're top heavy. That's just a fact.
And from 2000 to 2019, administrative staff across the country increased 88%.
That's top
So,
heavy.
I mean,
You've got too many teachers that are tired of being in the classroom. There's only so many jobs at Region 3, so let's just put them in charge of something else, and we bounce them up to them. Now, with that said,
morning, Bob.
Sheila Collazo, who I really like, we call her Super Sheila, has done good work minimizing or eliminating some positions, consolidating some positions. I don't think she's gone in and like wholesale fired people.
I think
Somebody-
somebody quits or retires.
They
and
just don't necessarily replace them. And that's a good idea. That's a great idea. But this community, sadly enough, has a reputation for bad schools. It does. You can put your head in the sand and say otherwise. You can point to the increases in scores. I can point to the yeoman's work being done by folks like Micah Patton, BJ Nelson. Our school board is solid, finally, legitimate, but it takes time, right, to undo the past. And in the interim, when you want $238 million from us, which I think is more than it cost to build East and West and all that when they did it, which was only 12 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
13, whatever the number is, who cares? 2010, 11. When you look back to say, we're going to take $238 million and we're going to repair roofs and we're going to consolidate a school and we're going to, like if they're going to close Shields, then they need to tear it down and sell it. Sell that land. Put that money back into an M&O budget. Because there's nothing sexy about a new AC compressor. People don't go, look at that. See that? That's my tax dollars at work right there, that new Rude unit on the roof. Nobody cares about that. I don't know. It's very difficult, very, very difficult to sell that based on past sins from a totally different group of people. No getting around it. Their legacy and fate is sealed. And I do think that the school district, do you agree, still suffers from school district phobia? People are scared. They don't trust our school district. I do think that our current school board has made tremendous inroads.
Absolutely. But yeah,
By the way,
I still think that's yeah.
We are also cognizant that we're on the No Bull Network. We're on in Corpus. You don't need to chime in. Your school sucked too. Nobody knows what to do with you. You guys are terrible down there. But the No Bull Network, Calhoun County, DeWitt, Goliad, Carnes, if you're hearing us in the No Bull Network, take a second, dial us on the hotline, 361-894-4020. 894-4020. Tammy Williams, yes, they're saying Stroman is included in the to be leveled. I think it was $50,000 to haul it off. That's what I think. I would tear Stroman down in a heartbeat. Emmett Alvarez, our buddy Emmett, can't fathom that because he went to school there. He's got nostalgia for those bricks.
Chances are those people, I'm 90% of people who graduated from Stroman or Victoria High probably have never walked back through the halls, right?
They're either dead or don't live there anymore.
Hello, caller.
Let's see, we got a caller. Caller, welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you intending to be live on Wade and Carter?
I am. Yes, sir.
Well, welcome to the show, sir. If you feel like it, tell us where you're at and who you are and what's going on. Talk to us.
Well, y'all know who I am. This is Matt Oker. I'm coming to you from the beautiful, charming Gulf Coast town of Rockport.
Can you acknowledge that you know that I love you and kind of take that little walk that comment back where I think you kind of stung my emotions and my feelings?
No, I don't think you took it in the spirit in which it was delivered, but that's okay.
That would be being my bad.
So one thing that I don't think enough people talk about, matter of fact, I don't hear anybody talking about it, when it comes to public buildings, Look around you. Drive around this state and look at the public buildings that have been built the last 10 years. Look at all of the ridiculous beauty features that are added to them that massively drive costs. You've got accent walls that do nothing. You've got ridiculous window coverings that do nothing. Used to, you would go to a town and the governmental buildings were humble, they were functional, they didn't have any of the pizzazz. And go look at the public safety headquarters, whatever the hell they're calling it, there in Victoria, Maine. Why on earth do you need this massive foyer with these, I don't even know how tall ceilings, 28-foot ceilings or whatever, and this massive covering coming out with accent lighting and all that? It's all fluff. And what's crazy is you can take almost any building that's built for the government. If that same building's built for the private sector, it's 1/5 to 1/10 of the cost.
Now, that's the truth.
So
I 100% agree with you on that. And I think the reason that they spend so much time glorifying a public structure is that, sadly, half of our community wants to rely on the government. They want the government to look at the permanence of that building. It's so beautiful.
I think it's even more than that. I think I saw somewhere like we're pushing almost $800 a square foot for educational buildings,
which is ridiculous. It only cost about $1 million a hospital room. So I think it's crazy to pay. I mean, why should a public school cost more than it really costs? Much more than it costs to build a house. I'll give you $300 a foot if that's what it costs. Build it out of cinder block.
You know what's funny, man? I sat on a committee at Hayes CISD. I was actually, believe it or not, I was appointed by a trustee to sit on this committee.
I believe
and we were called the Facilities and Bond Oversight Committee. And I think the only reason why they put me on it is hoping I would stop coming to school board meetings and giving them the business. But we had it's hard for most people to wrap their heads around a 345,000 square foot high school with, band halls and cafeterias and all that, because we don't build those things ourselves. We don't purchase those things ourselves. But let me give you a very quick example, and I won't get into all the details just to save time. We had a 1,422 square foot, 10-foot tall, R-paneled steel building with no air conditioning that was going to be built. It was going to have 2 restrooms. It was a field house restroom and a serving counter with no kitchen equipment in it. This is pre-COVID. This is 2017-18. $588,000. At that same exact time, I was building a 5,000 square foot shop, 20 foot tall on my property in Rockport for $180,000. That's the difference. That's why I think most people in their minds just have a moratorium on public buildings. That's exactly where I am. Until these people can realize that they're not creating fiefdoms and that we're not their subjects. I mean, this stuff gets back to psychology. There's a reason why Russia built such grandiose public buildings and why they used to parade all the missiles through the streets and all that. It's so the citizens bow down before the government.
That's right.
And make no mistake about it, that's what these people want.
That's the
church. Education cartel. The education cartel is the worst offender in this regard.
I don't
and
disagree.
Until we rein that back in, it's just a hard no for me on everything. And I hope more people join my ranks because the master has got to grab the whip. Anyway, guys, I'll let y'all go.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Matt.
Appreciate that. No, he brings up some very good points.
By the way, not only was he concise, succinct, same thing, roughly, and right, that's the least wordy. That's good. That's good, Matt Oker. Right? That's vintage Matt Oker.
No, and he brings up some valid points. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know. You look at the buildings. Old schools used to have cafeterias, band halls, the things that we talk about. Look at the foyers in East and West. Massive expanses that go way up, and your heating and cooling is ridiculous.
Andy Rokovich says, great caller. Thank you, Andy. Tammy Williams says, hey, Randy Langston, all of those kids saying, I have a weapon, need to be pushing a lawnmower along with their parents. I've never disagreed with this. I've told our own sheriff, Justin Marr, when you have these little turds that are going to juvie for saying something stupid, these kids need to be meeting out on the side of the highway at 5:30, and whenever the sun comes up on a Saturday morning, the kid in a pink jumpsuit, because it's always a guy. It's always a boy being an idiot. It really is. And then I want to put the parents in stripes, and I want them walking lockstep together, maybe even shackled together.
Yeah, chain them all up.
I want the family walking together, picking up trash.
And Tammy's comment to Randy Langston was a response to his comment saying it went downhill after they stopped Saturday detention. Child labor had us cleaning and painting.
Cleaning. Randy Langston having a flashback. Hope there's no PTSD associated. But there's no getting around, and Justin said, well, you just really, you can't do that anymore. But you know what? There's that sheriff out in Arizona that did it. I think we just do it. Can you imagine if Victoria, Texas, in defiance of, I don't know, somebody's rights on paper, wouldn't it be awesome if Victoria, Texas had the reputation of, we don't put up with any crap in our schools. You want a private school experience in our public school? Come on down. We're not going to kick you out, but we'll put you on the side of the road.
Kelly Farmy says, I don't want my tax dollars wasted, but I also don't want Soviet-era concrete block aesthetic.
I don't disagree with that. I look back and
they were efficient. I'll tell you from experience, they were efficient.
They are, but you know what? I'll give you.
And when you took us out behind and shot one of us, you couldn't find the bullet holes in the wall.
The compliment is when you go down and you look at our beautiful, I think one of the most beautiful in the state. Our county courthouse is a gorgeous building at a time when, so our original courthouse was built in 1892 at a cost of just under $65,000.
What's that in today's dollars? Do we know?
$14 billion. No, but it was built for $65,000. But it was also built by artisan craftsmen. It wasn't everything wasn't, subbed out to somebody. People built it. The Germans, no doubt, settled in this area, were involved in the stonework.
Ash, I can get back to 1913 in an inflation calculator.
Yeah.
$2,136,786.
$2 million. So $2 million bucks.
$2 million
to build it now. Which, by the way, $2 million to build it in 13? No, if it was $65,000 in 1913, it's $2 million now.
Right. Yeah. The courthouse was built in 1892.
So let's call it $2.5 million.
They just didn't have that far back.
$3 for easy math.
$3 million. Let's go at $5 million furnished with a sprinkler system and landscaping. $5 million bucks in today's dollars.
What did our renovation of it cost a few years ago?
How much did we spend on our new Justice Center?
52, I think.
And climbing. So when you look at it like that, it's relative. Now, you could not build that courthouse for $5 million.
Drive down North Street. The original Patty Welder still looks pretty nice and looks like a cool old school.
Yeah.
Why could they not look like that? Classrooms, windows. I don't know.
I remember being blown away at one point 10 years ago. I drove by the Woodlands. They call it Woodlands. It's part of the Woodlands School District, but Woodlands College something. And it's just massive with the big stone entrance and all that. It looks like Baylor. It looks like a university. The same thing is going on, like it's either in Bay City or over in Richardson, Rosenberg. There's a school over there that you're just like, wow, look at that. While that's impressive, just like a church is not the building, it's the people. The school is what's in it. I'd rather pay the teachers more and have less fluff on the building itself. But when our forefathers in the 60s, early 60s, added on the courthouse extension, I can remember as a kid the uproar about, man, that's a big, ugly building. It's just ugly. And it is ugly, and it's utilitarian.
And the apologists are trying to say, they're trying to say architecturally stylish.
But what's nice about it is that they were actually thoughtful enough to not try to compete or contrast with the old, beautiful courthouse.
Well, I think there's the problem. Is it TASB that really controls all of this sort of stuff? And Matt Oker points out they all hire the same architects. And I agree, that's part of the problem. I think they've gamed the system to the point where whoever gets it, they're all within a certain amount of each other in their bids if they bid it.
Yeah.
And they all look the same. They all charge the same.
They all know it's quiet collusion.
It really is.
They all know what the cost is. Good point by Jennifer Rayburn. She said the trick now is to allow for natural light without body level windows. They don't want people getting shot through the windows. It's a safety feature, which leads to higher ceilings and foyers. Robert Howard says, it's sad that the courthouse is falling into disrepair in the last 7 to 8 years, leaking windows, rotting wood around the windows, and mold forming. The building maintenance department head doesn't seem to care. I don't know anything about that. I'd like to see, certainly, and to what extent do you want the county to levy some type of a tax? Are you going to sign on for a bond to update the courthouse? I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to see VISD pulled out of TASB. Sure. I'd love for us to be independent of all the state's fetterings. I would love that. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wind services, we talked about Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. Atzenhofer for all your automobilial needs.
Nice.
They got a beautiful, made that up. I'm still trying to get past prurient. Anyway, you've got this beautiful new kind of off red. They've got some funky colors. You can't really tell what they are. Atzenhofer, Chevys, Mitsubishis. You've got the most beautiful pickup lineup in the county.
Pre-owned vehicles of any maker model.
Yeah, if you're
They'll
within our
service
voice,
any maker model.
if you go into Atzenhofer and find Tommy Taylor, who is the dealership principal, say, hey, look, I'm from the No Bull Network. I'm coming to you from B County, and I heard about you on Wade and Carter. They're going to take care of you. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. The Dollar Floor Store for all your flooring needs, whether you need vinyl flooring, luxury vinyl, whether you need, you want little brick pavers, you want hardwood flooring, whatever you need, whatever you want, they've got it. Get in there to the Dollar Floor Store. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's is the best towing company ever. They're the Muhammad Ali of towing. Get in and see the GOAT, Allen's Wrecker Service. Veracruz Restaurant, queso, homemade chips, hot sauce, guacamole, the best of the best of the best. They are the best. No doubt about it. USA Concrete Coatings, 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia and his team will help you and yours. They will take care of you. You want to lift it, you want to sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done to concrete. Call USA Concrete Coatings. And then Paravita Wellness. Start now. This last weekend, I was blessed. I found another little tub of, all they are is very simple beef hamburger patties. Something that Erica's team does to them, they microwave beautifully. They don't shrink. They don't get hard. They are fantastic. They are awesome. Paravita Wellness, go in and talk to her about what you want. You want low carb, you want gluten-free, you want preservative-free.
Keto.
Whatever you want, she can help you. And the Vita Cafe can serve you.
Yeah.
The same thing. What's going on at the chopping block?
Well, they're trying to pump out as much barbacoa boudin as they possibly can, so they'll try to get that back on the shelves or in the meat case this week. Also, don't forget, this is now the time. Get your Christmas meat orders in. If you're going to do prime rib on Christmas Day, Chopping Block's the best place to get it. And make sure you get your orders in now so they're in time for Christmas, because John will make sure he gets you the best cut of prime rib possible.
I'm going to throw something out there that I hope the community listens to, because I know it to be correct. You can make a beautiful, functional school that can be very simple. I don't care if you have a nice archway at the entrance, but we don't have to have copula. We don't have to have, stone accoutrement above every window. We don't have to have all that. Give me a really simple, guess what? What if it didn't have to be painted? What if we just did a big old cinder block building and put a big old metal roof on it that was industrial grade? I don't care if the roof's got hail dents in it, as long as it doesn't leak.
And I know there's costs for the wiring and the infrastructure for Wi-Fi and fire suppression and all of that stuff. That does bring costs up more so than, your home repair or your home construction. I get that.
Well, but the most valuable thing is we want to keep our kids safe. That's fine.
But when you start when you start making ceilings and things way high, you're heating and cooling space that doesn't need to be heat and cooled. Let's close that in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's put functional rooms above that stuff instead of empty spaces.
I take you no further than quite arguably the least used built room in East or West High School. If you get a chance to go to East or West, walk into the library. It's like 3 stories tall. There's like a bunch of books. It's not anywhere near the library you had in high school. It's not as many books as you would think. There's 2 floors above the library that can be utilized for all kinds of things.
Yep.
And they're just open air. It's like, like that's going to all of a sudden make a kid who makes his living playing video on his phone.
Better.
He's going to read better, and he's going to read more. He's going to go to the library because it's such a nice, welcoming space. That's a joke. It's not going to happen. Man, what if VISD said no more problems in our schools? I think they're moving towards that.
What if they said we don't want any more wasted space?
Amen.
I mean, it's apparent. We have new schools built the new way, and our scores haven't improved, so it can't be the buildings. Because if it was, problem solved.
I will not. I won't disparage. I'm not disparaging my old friend Raleigh McCoy, our RMA architecture, but both, because they're basically the same school, East and West, were sorely inadequate the day they opened. They're terrible places to host anything like a basketball tournament. There's no real visitors locker room. It's just a mess. It's just JV. It's not straight varsity.
Gyms weren't big enough.
No, the gyms aren't big enough. And it's just, yes, that was then, and we're moving forward. I completely support the board we have now. I believe that they're not only well-intentioned, they're well-equipped. They're smart people. Really, really appreciate the energy and the willingness to listen of Micah Patton and BJ Nelson. I mean, the board members individually, great folks, all of them. There's a couple that need to roll off, but it's okay. Overall they're doing well. So how about, with all that said, you're probably going to vote for the bond?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I am. Don't be such a stick in the mud.
Not a stick in the mud.
Don't get off your wallet there, Canada. You know what he's doing, Cody? He's trying to dumb down the American youth.
I'm not a part of y'all's fights.
There you go.
No.
Yeah, this is
American youth have been doing that on their own for a while.
That's right. Kids need to hold themselves accountable too.
With the help of their parents.
Amen. Parental apathy. Single-parent homes, these are the things that lead to bad students or great students. Some students have enough to realize I better do something or I'm going to continue the trend. We'll see. I knew some kids that had every opportunity.
You got the May to learn more and make up your mind, I think, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I knew some kids that had every opportunity and made nothing of themselves.
Yeah, and I know kids who
had
no opportunity and has made everything of themselves.
Absolutely. No, John, they haven't recently renovated the old Victoria Public Library. And by the way, the Victoria Public Library needs a new roof. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah, just hide and watch. That might be a bone of contention in 2026.
Yeah, you've got some things coming down. There's going to be some inner city strife, and
the library building will be at the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Library is going to be a big deal.
The one thing it's interesting with this, because I know there seemed to be a lot more public input into this bond than the last one. The last one, they kind of formed task groups and basically told you, here's where you're going with your task force. But I still see enough comments on a couple of the posts over the weekend on this that people were not really aware of where they could provide input on the latest bond. And I don't know, in this day and age and I get it, a lot of, there's older folks who aren't on social media. and maybe there's younger folks who aren't on the right social media for that sort of thing. But I don't know in this day and age, and I'll be honest, I didn't see much on where to provide input on these things.
Matt Oger with another. Yeah, you're right. I know exactly what you're saying there. He says parental apathy. Try being an involved parent that doesn't act like a barking seal and see how VISD treats you. If you're a naysayer, you've got problems because there's no doubt they have an agenda, and it's so funny because in general, those in academia, they're so superior to us mere mortals, the students, if you will, that you just don't understand what's going on here. You don't understand what's going on here.
I think there's
none of
been
them
some
have
of
ever
that.
made a payroll. None of them have ever done anything but teach and acquire power.
I don't get a sense of that with Sheila, but it certainly was there with previous administrations. Look at that, top of the hour. Wow, it flew by this morning.
Yeah, great conversation. Any of you in the No Bull Network zone, tomorrow, muster the courage. Thank you, Matt Oger, for the call. Yeah. Give us a call
I'd
and
like to
tell
hear,
us what you like and don't like about your school district.
I'd like to hear from the folks in DeWitt and Cuero and
Jim Hogg County.
And how much, are you getting what your taxes increased with the new high schools and the additions there?
Amen. Give us a call. We love you guys. Hey, you can't win the week if you don't win Monday. Go be a player. Bye.
Night, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that,